This is ABC7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Around 30 homes in the city of Venice are being investigated for violating short-term rental rules.
According to a city ordinance, homeowners can only rent their home for a short term 3 times a year. ABC7's Christopher Brantley is joining us now live in Venice to explain more. Christopher.
Well, Scott and Haley, earlier today, code enforcement updated City Council on the findings of their investigation, and we learned some of the homes under investigation may not have actually broken any rules. With Venice at or near the top of most travel websites for vacationing, it may not surprise you that a lot of people visit here. But if you're a homeowner and want to rent your home out, there are some strict rules.
You could rent your property 3 times less than 30 days within a calendar year. It's when you rent it 4 times that you're in violation of the code.
Paul Iannelli is Venice's code enforcement supervisor.
The ordinance says if you hold your property out for advertisement as a resort dwelling, then you're in violation of the code.
Iannelli often searches rental websites and the popular Airbnb site. As of now, the city is investigating 32 homes suspected of violating the rules. Interestingly, the main way code enforcement finds out about short-term rentals isn't online. It's by suspicious neighbors sending tips.
It's not really being abused that much, in my opinion. I've lived on the island for almost 30 years, and I don't see much abuse at all.
Venice realtor Dan Heschmeyer says he knows of a few complaints, but said it's mostly people who didn't know there was a rule. In many cases, neighbors lodge complaint with code enforcement only to find out family members or friends of homeowners had been staying in the home. If no money is exchanging hands, no rules are being broken. However, if you are breaking the rules,
if they continue, we'll send out a notice of hearing and require them to appear in front of the code enforcement board.
In some cases, that could result in a $500 fine for every day the home is in violation. Now, the key here is money changing hands. If you profit from more than 3 short-term rentals in a year, you may be in violation. However, if you do want to rent your home out for more than 30 days at a time, there is no violation. There is no limit. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Christopher, thank you. Now to a developing story out of Miami. You're looking live at a huge crowd gathering for a rally in Little Havana, staged by Cuban exiles to mark the death of former Cuban President Fidel Castro. Exile groups are calling it a Cuban unity rally aimed at pushing for democratic reforms on the communist island. Authorities are expecting about 4,000 demonstrators at this rally, which is being held at a memorial for the failed Bay of Pigs invasion that tried to topple Castro in 1961.
Now to new details surrounding that deadly plane crash in Colombia. The pilot told air traffic controllers he had run out of fuel moments before crashing into the Andes. A recording from the air traffic tower shows the pilot repeatedly requesting permission to land due to a total electric failure and lack of fuel. A controller gives the instructions, and as the aircraft starts to lose speed and altitude about 8 miles from the airport. Monday's crash killed all but 6 people aboard, including most members of the soccer team from Brazil.
A North Carolina district attorney says a Charlotte police officer acted lawfully when he shot and killed a black man in a case that touched off several nights of unrest in the city. Officer Brent Vinson, who was also black, shot and killed Keith Lamont Scott back on September 20th. Scott was sitting in his vehicle at an apartment complex when he was confronted by police. Police video shows officers shouting for Scott to drop a gun numerous times. Mecklenburg County District Attorney Andrew Murray says a nearby store's surveillance video shows the outline of what appears to be a holstered gun on Scott's ankle. Now that Officer Vinson has been cleared of wrongdoing, he will not face charges.
But the fact that criminal charges are not appropriate under the law in this particular case does not mean we can dismiss the concerns expressed by those who raise their voices to raise the consciousness of this community.
Following the shooting, Scott's family insisted he did not have a gun. They maintained he was sitting in his car reading a book while waiting for one of his children to come home from school. In cell phone video from Scott's wife, she repeatedly tells police Scott does not have a gun and that he suffers from a traumatic brain injury.
A Manatee County man is facing charges after sheriff's deputies say he vandalized a home under construction and hurt a sheriff's canine. The break-in happened on Bay Drive in the Bayshore Gardens area last night. Deputies say they saw Simon Williamson jump through a sliding glass door. They released a canine named Loki after him. Williamson closed a gate on the dog, which left a cut on the front leg of the dog. The canine was still able to stop Williamson, who then started punching the animal. Deputies intervened and arrested him. Loki is now recovering.
Now to a successful rescue mission in Jacksonville. Fire and wildlife crews were able to free a manatee that was stuck in a 36-inch storm drain near the St. Johns River. It's still unclear how the manatee got stuck, but city workers spotted it this morning. Crews spent hours digging around the drain so that they could lift the sea cow out of that culvert. That manatee is now on its way to SeaWorld in Orlando, where it will get treatment and recover.
And some of the stations there live streaming that as it was going on, so it's pretty interesting to watch.
Interesting how it got in there in the first place.
That's the weird part, yep.
All right, now over to Josh, who's in for Bob tonight, celebrating his birthday.
Right.
Hi, Josh.
That's right. We're looking at some nasty weather up to the north. Okay, and this is the same system that caused all the severe weather last night through areas of Mississippi and Alabama. This is going to remain to the north, but if you have a flight, say tonight, out of SRQ up to Atlanta, there could potentially be delays, so just keep that in mind. As far as rain goes, really very light shower activity that happened earlier this afternoon, but nothing showing up on our radar at all. Our current temperature right now is in the 70s, and we're going to continue that trend as we go through the evening hours. We expect partly cloudy skies. Later on this evening, though, looks like we could have some issues with some patchy fog, so look out for that. We'll have the rest of the forecast coming up just a little bit. Back to you.
All right, Josh, thank you. New developments involving thousands of California National Guard troops. House and Senate negotiators have agreed to forgive the debts of the troops who had been ordered by the Pentagon to repay enlistment bonuses. Those bonuses had been incentives for service in Iraq and Afghanistan a decade ago. The Guard offered enlistment bonuses for as much as $15,000 and student loan aid at the height of the two wars. A vote in the House on the defense bill is expected by Friday, followed by action in the Senate sometime next week.
Here in Sarasota, you may notice food trucks moving around freely. Earlier this month, Sarasota County Commissioners approved new zoning rules. Food trucks can now freely roam throughout most commercial and unincorporated areas. Prior to the decision, the rules were some of the most restrictive in the country, with very strict permit requirements. While the SRQ Food Truck Alliance is celebrating this decision as a victory, it has left some restaurant owners uneasy.
You want to be able to move. That's that's the whole point of a food truck. And so this allows food trucks to be able to try a property and see if it works for them, and then be able to go to, and if it doesn't work, go to another property.
And I can't imagine how we could survive if someone just opens up a pizza truck or sells some kind of food for a cheaper price in front of us. I mean, people, when they come to CST, are going to go for the cheapest spot they can go to.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, we'll break down how the new zoning rules are affecting Sarasota's food truck community. Plus, we'll hear arguments for and against them during our roundtable.
The front of the Palmetto Police Department a little greener this evening, thanks to a local landscaping company and some hardworking students. Easterline Landscape donating their time and plants to this project. And some agriculture students from Palmetto High School who have been learning about plants came out to re-landscape the entrance area of the police department. Police Chief Scott Tyler says the improvements are needed.
This is work that we probably couldn't budget for, couldn't afford to do, the police department, and it just makes this public facility look better. It raises the morale of the officers to have this kind of work done.
To be able to get out of school one day and to be able to do this project for the police department, somebody that does so much for us and that keeps us safe, is really heartwarming to us and my other classmates as well.
Well said. A teacher with the Ag department says the hands-on lesson helped teach these students the value of hard work, teamwork, and giving back to their community, as you heard that student say.
Great project.
Yeah, hard work too. Still to come in your Suncoast News, changes at the gas pump.
How OPEC's new deal to limit production will affect gas prices in the long run. That story is coming up next.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School, serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Black Friday's biggest deals are still here. That's right, the Black Friday sales event is going strong at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Ram trucks are built tough enough to help you conquer whatever the day may throw your way with all the technology and comfort you'd find in a luxury vehicle. Right now, get over 20% off. That's up to $15,000 off a new Ram 1500. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
The Suncoast offers many choices for an aging population, including assisted living and home health care. But there are few options for adults with disabilities. ABC7's Alex Redmond joins us now with how The Haven is providing a home and careers to adults with disabilities. Alex.
Thanks, Haley. We are all living longer thanks to medical advances, but one concern of parents and caregivers of adults with disabilities is what will happen to their loved ones if they're no longer around to care for them. Mackenzie Holland just had a birthday.
I had a barbecue.
At The Haven, where she lives.
We do activities and all that.
And works.
I work in the kitchen. I cook for the little kids.
She has epilepsy, which has been under control for many years, but she also just has developmental delays, significant ones, enough so that she's very vulnerable.
This is Jimmy, and he has lived at The Haven for more than 25 years. Both his parents are gone, but he feels like it's family here. Like many parents of children with disabilities, Holland's mother, Kelly Askered's #1 question was,
where will my child live? Where will my child work? And where will my adult child be able to, contribute and feel self-fulfilled?
Community Haven, now called The Haven, serves around 700 children, teens, and adults.
Ranging from people that need total care in wheelchairs, and then also people that may have autism or Asperger's that can hold a community job but just need a little bit of extra support.
People like 56-year-old Alfred Lanier, who works on the Green Crew landscaping.
I come every day to work, and then sometimes we have art, but we off this Friday.
And Adam Carmona, who lives with his parents.
Well, I was told I was autistic, high functioning, and I do learn, but I learn when I see things.
Carmona holds several positions, including one on the culinary crew.
I feed the babies, the preschool kids, which they bring so much joy. Also, when I get here early in the morning, I deliver.
Mike has been living at the Haven for 2 years. His parents planned ahead. His mother, now deceased, during construction of the house that they built over my shoulder, the greenhouse called Jacqueline's house.
Latest project we're really excited about is we're breaking ground on Haven Industries building, which is going to be a 7,500 square foot warehouse for people with disabilities to work and earn a paycheck.
The Haven's continued growth, says Askerud, allows her daughter to also grow.
We wanted her to have a social life that didn't involve two old people. So we wanted her to be around her peers and to really be as independent as she could in a safe environment.
Runners, walkers, and wheelchair racers will participate in the Haven's 2016 Jingle and Jog 5K run and 1 mile walk. That's this Saturday starting at 8 a.m. You can join me because I'll be out there judging, representing ABC7. And to find out more about this, you can go to health@mysuncoast.com. Back to you, Haley.
Thank you, Alex. Such a great place, and so happy to see all those smiles there. Now let's head over to Josh for a check on our forecast.
Yeah, you know, actually looking pretty dry right now. We did have some sprinkles in DeSoto County, around Charlotte as well, but looks like for the rest of the evening, we're calling for dry conditions. Our radar is all quiet at this time, so no rainfall. We really could use some rain. So here's the headlines. We have a weekend coming up looking very nice. End of hurricane season is today, and today is also our chief meteorologist, Bob Harrigan's birthday. So happy birthday, Bob. Hope you're having a good one on your day off. As far as the hurricane season, though, today is the official last day of it, but we've had 3 major storms. And we also had one that hit Florida back on September 2nd. That was Hermine. It was a Category 1, but along the Sun Coast, we had wind gusts up to 74 miles per hour. And that was the first hurricane that hit Florida since Wilma back in 2005. And we all remember Matthew was a Category 5 at one time, and it buzzsawed it way up on the east coast of Florida and really did a number here along Fort Pierce and Melbourne, Florida. So it was kind of an interesting season. We did have an active one, and at least it is over and nothing is in the tropics at this time. Sarasota right now is current temperature 77, Bradenton 78, 73 in Venice with partly cloudy to clear skies. And for our almanac today, we actually reached a high of 81, which is above our average of 76, but no rainfall. Boy, we've only had 0.02 inches of rain for the entire month of November. Of course, today is the last day of it, and we are almost 2 inches below where we should be. And it looks like the best chance of rainfall could come at the end of next week. And if that doesn't happen, it could be the following week, which a more vigorous system looks to come our way. We'll talk about that in just a second. But other temperatures around the state, 79 in Jacksonville, 80 in Key West at this time, 76 in Venice, 74 in Inglewood, 77 in Arcadia, so mid to upper 70s. And for tomorrow, we're going to climb into the low 80s once again. We're calling for partly cloudy skies, but this cold front that brought the severe weather last night to places like Louisiana and Mississippi, Tennessee, and Alabama, it is tracking eastward. Actually, there are some tornado watches and severe thunderstorm watches out here for Georgia, but this is all moving east. The upper level dynamics for severe weather is to the north of us. So by the time the front rolls in to the Sun Coast, it looks like it will weaken and really not produce any sort of rainfall, just sunny skies. As far as your boating forecast, seas 2 to 4 feet offshore tomorrow, and we will have a beautiful weekend, upper 70s to mid 70s. That's where we should be. Great for the Sarasota Parade on Saturday night. We return to the low 80s by early next week. And like I said, the best chance of rain probably the end of next work week. Guys?
Thank you, Josh. Now the Suncoast Traffic Watch. No accidents right now, but US 41 is backed up in both the north and southbound lanes. This is near Fruitville Road in Sarasota.
Drivers in Florida may soon see gas prices jump, and analysts say a new OPEC deal is the reason. According to AAA, a deal announced today by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, calls for a cut in crude oil production by 1.2 million barrels a day to 32.5 million starting in January. Gas prices were already on the rise this week in anticipation of the deal, but analysts say it could lead to increases of at least 13 cents at the pump. Statewide, the average price jumped 3 cents in just one day.
Now you can Netflix and chill without internet access. Today, Netflix announced members can download movies and shows to watch offline later. Now you can watch the new season of Stranger Things and Bloodline while on a flight or anytime you're away from Wi-Fi or a cell signal. Members need to make sure that they have the most recent Netflix app to access the download button. Amazon Prime started offering these downloads more than a year ago. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, especially if you're flying and you lose that connection, or you don't want to pay for it on the plane.
Right, or if you're like me and you've been at your grandmother's house with no Wi-Fi,
Oh,
so,
boy.
you know, that comes in handy.
Entertainment news is next.
Types of timber, cuts of meat, cooking times, temperatures, rubs, seasonings, sauces. You name it, they know it. That's what makes them who they are, Sonny's Pitmasters. And proud of it. Come get some baby back ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. On their own or paired with favorites like jalapeno cheddar hot links or pulled or sliced pork plus 2 sides and bread. Sonny's Barbecue. Local Pitmasters since '68.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little Sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
What makes America's #1 beach even better? How about seafood and music? Don't miss the Siesta Beach Seafood and Music Festival happening Saturday and Sunday, December 3rd and 4th from 10 to 6 p.m. Savor mouth-watering Florida Gulf Coast seafood dishes by top restaurants and chefs while you enjoy great live music from some of Florida's top musical groups. So grab your family and friends at the Siesta Beach Seafood and Music Festival December 3rd and 4th. For more information, visit seafoodfestivals.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
In entertainment news, Pope Francis meeting with film director Martin Scorsese today at the Apostolic Palace. Did I say that right?
Apostolic, I think.
Apostolic, yes.
The meeting comes a day before the film Silence makes its world premiere at the Vatican. Silence documents the persecution of Jesuit missionaries in 17th century Japan. Scorsese presented the Pope with 2 paintings with the theme Hidden Christians. The pontiff offered Scorsese and his family rosaries.
Former chairman of NBC has died. Grant Tinker died Monday at his home in Los Angeles. He was 90 years old. Though he spent years at NBC, Tinker is best known probably for his work at MTM Enterprises. He founded that company in 1970 with his then wife, Mary Tyler Moore. In addition to Moore's own groundbreaking comedy, MTM scored with series like Rhoda, The Bob Newhart Show, and Hill Street Blues.
Queen Elizabeth is going to be a great-grandmother again. The Queen's granddaughter, Zara Tindall, and her husband are expecting their second child next year. A representative for the couple confirmed that news today. The new addition to the royal family will be Queen Elizabeth's 6th great-grandchild. Serena Williams is calling out what she says are double standards faced by women in sports. The 22-time Grand Slam champion penned an open letter that states women are constantly reminded that they aren't men. She says people call her one of the world's greatest female athletes, but notes that male athletes like LeBron James and Tiger Woods aren't described by their gender. The letter was published in Porter magazine.
Good point. Rogue One has broken a box office record, and it isn't even in theaters yet. The Hollywood Reporter says Rogue One, a Star Wars story, boasts the biggest number of ticket pre-sales for 2016 for both Fandango and MovieTickets.com. Variety adds the first standalone Star Wars adventure is tracking to open above the $130 million mark when it hits theaters on December 16th.
Tell me you have a backup plan.
So it's not a continuation of the story we saw last year.
Right.
This is a standalone, tell your own kind of story movie. It'll be
Right.
interesting
Kind
to
of
see how
reminds
it
me
works.
of the Harry Potter thing that they did recently, where it
Yeah.
was kind of part of the storyline, but not the actual
Prequel.
story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We'll be right back with more news. Stay with us.